Hi everyone, welcome back. This is crazy. I do call it crazy, and in my classes with my students I do talk about crazy questions. Personally, I will not put a question like that in an assessment. But can I tell you, with my own kids in various schools that I've been to, they have had questions like that, and I've had people put questions like this in the tests at year 10, not so much year 9, but at year 10 level, especially, not even just with a more able class, but they put them in. So I am going to go through what it is because people will get the question. Now, in principle, there's one thing about if you can do these, all the other ones will be easy relative to what this is. I'm sorry, no, not sorry. I'm grinning about it because it is crazy. I don't see a purpose for this in life, but maths teachers love it. So here we go. Oh, there's so many things we can do. First of all, I'm going to go from the top and look at what's going to happen and work my way across and down. Let's have a look at this 3x squared. That means it's a 3x times y another 3x. So if I went to the side, I could go 3x times 3x, but you can look at it this way. What's 3 squared? And that's 9. And then we've got the x squared, so that's just an x squared. And you go, oh, that's nice and easy. I can do that, okay. And I go, oh, a minus here means I'm going to move all of that as is to the denominator. But it's a bit squished here at the moment, so I'm not going to write it there as yet. Now, this has got a 5, and if you have a look at it, that negative 4 is only sitting on the x. It's only controlling the x. By the way, if you looked at my number 9 video, it's got a lot of the basics, but this has gone a whole step further. So the 5 stays on the bottom, but the x to the 4 goes to the top. So a negative will move it from the denominator to the numerator, or from the numerator to the denominator. So at the moment I've dealt with all of that. I could look at this next if I wanted to and go, well, the 4 hasn't got a negative on it, so that stays on the bottom on the denominator. But again, we've got another minus here, which means all of that y to the 6, not the 4, don't get in the trap. All of that y to the 6 will go to the top, and it's a times by y to the 6. And now I've got room to put this down the bottom or on the denominator. So I write everything there exactly as written. So what I'm going to do, I write exactly the same thing. You can shortcut this all you want. But first of all, this is not shortcutting, or not shortcutting too much. And I put the 2 there. So the only thing that's moved, that changed, is I now no longer have that negative written there. It's not written there. So that whole thing moved from the top to the bottom. Now I can look at this. If I wanted to, I don't really have to cancel anything. I can just go, that's 9. Now, if I had a whole bunch of maths teachers, or if I taught this another day, I'd probably do so many different things. There are so many choices. But I give you some handle, some choices of what to do. So x squared by x to the 4 is x to the 6, and I've got that one as a y to the 6. Now, over here I've got 5 4s are 20, so that's just normal, everyday, easy stuff. Now, this means 2y times 2y. So a 2 there means all of that twice. Maybe I should this time. I didn't do it up here, but I should write that as 2y by 2y. Wouldn't hurt if we did that. So I've tidied up the top. Now I'm just going to tidy up the bottom first. X to the 6, y to the 6, that's a 20 times, well, actually you could do all of that in one go anyway. So 20 by 2 is 40 by 2 is 80, and I've got the y times the y is a y squared. Now I can't cancel a 9 on the 80, I can't cancel any x's, but I can cancel these here. So you can, if you want to, just go 6 take 2 is 4. And you can write 9x to the 6. And you go 6 take 2 is 4. It's not a negative 4, it's a positive 4, so that stays on the top. And on the bottom I've got an 80, and now that y squared's gone. I prefer this if it works for you. So I try to show you different things where possible. 2 of those will cancel with 2 of those, and I'm left with 4. So for some reason that happened in my brain when I was at school, and I've taught so many people. And that's the most simplified answer we can get. Can't go any further. Now the big one. This is crazy, but can I tell you, my daughter, in her first year 11 question, in her first test, when we were living in Queensland, when she got to year 11, had a question that made that look super duper easy. So that's part of what's going on. Let's have a look. The 5 stays on the top. I'm going to try to speed up a little bit. The x to the 6 goes to the bottom. I'm not going to explain all that all over again. We've got a 2. The x to the 0 is a 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. And we've got a y squared. Now I'm going to do this, in my head, do it the quick way. So that's a 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16. That's an x to the minus 2 squared. X to the minus 2, and it actually means that, which is x to the minus 2 by x to the minus 2. And you can do all sorts of crazy ones. And what do we do when we're multiplying? We add the powers. Or I can just go minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. So I could have just written that as x minus 4. Now if you're confident and you start to go, yeah, I got it, minus 2 times 2. So a power raised to another power, you multiply the indexes. You can go back to other videos and look at why that's true. So this is a y squared. It's actually a y to the 1 squared. So y, that's a y to the 2. You know, I try not, if you've been seeing my videos, I try not to make them too long. Let's have a look at this one here now. So I've dealt with all of that on the top. Down the bottom here I've got a 5 squared, which is 25. I've got an x squared squared. What do I do with a power to a power? I multiply the powers. So I will say that for a moment. X squared squared is like that one. So that's x squared by x squared, which is x to the 4. So I can just go 2 2s are 4. So that's x to the 4. And now I'll do this aside as well. Y cubed squared means y cubed by y cubed, which is y to the 6. And I can still remember being at school and having to think that at times and go, oh, that's right, there's 3 2s are 6 or 2 3s are 6. A power or an index or an exponent raised to another one, you multiply them, and that's how you can see y. So that's a y to the 6. Now I've got an 8 all by itself, so that stays there. It doesn't move from the bottom to the top, but the y to the 5 moves from the bottom to the top. So you write the y to the 5 on the top. Now, a bit annoying when I look at that, though. I've still got that minus 4 there, but doesn't matter. Let's have a look. Now, you could multiply all those numbers out and they become really big. It's much better if you can go cancel the 5 becomes 5 into 5 once, and 5 into 25 goes 5. Let's have a look at this one here. 8 into 8 goes once, 8 into 16 goes twice. Now, at this point in time, I'm just going to multiply it out, except for one thing here. I'm going to move that to the bottom. So what am I left with? This is a mess. Can you see why I don't normally give this to students? Okay, that's a 2 times another 2, which is a 4. I've got a y squared, I've got an x, and I've got a y squared, and I've got a y to the 5. Should I look at such a mess? Should I write it separate? Probably. I've got a y squared, I've got an x to the minus 4, so it's not really an x. So that x to the minus 4 has to go to the bottom. So I'm just going to write it down here. So I've got that x to the 4 moved to the bottom, and I've got a y squared and a y to the 5. Oh guys, I can keep laughing. 2 times 2 is 4. Y squared by y squared by y to the 5, that's that. You add the indices, y to the 9. I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch this. So all that's on the top is that. So really my fraction I've got like this is getting pretty crazy long. But anyway, I want to leave room for that to be on the bottom. Let's have a look at what we got now. I've got a 5, just a normal everyday 5. So I need the 5. I've got an x to the 6 by the x to the 4, so that's x to the 10. And I've got the extra x to the 4 that went from the top to the bottom. And let's have a look what's left. I've still got that y to the 6. So I've got a y to the 6. Can't cancel the 4 and the 5 anymore, but I can cancel 6 of those, will cancel with 6 of those, and I'm left with 3 of them. So here's the answer to the question. You ready for it? That's a 4y to the 3, and that's a 5, and there's x to the 10 and x to the 4 is x to the 14, and the question's written in its best form. Now, sometimes in the wording it'll say, simplify the following, leaving it in positive index form, or positive exponent form if you're in America. So I've written it in a simplified form, so everything cancelled that could be cancelled, and I've left it with a positive index up there and a positive index down there. So you could write it otherwise. Oh guys, I hope it helps. If you're enjoying it, please just let your friends know, and I'll see you in the future.